high school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wawasee High School for tonight's junior varsity girls basketball game. Let's meet the starters. First, for the visitors from Fairfield High School. Number 5, Aaliyah Davis. Number 11, Savannah Cronin. Number 12, Hattie Herbert. Number 20, Greta Hostetler. And number 23, Zoe Miller. The JV Falcons are coached by Lindsey Kaufman. And now, here are the starters for the Wawasee Junior Varsity. Number 12, Francie McDonald. Number 14, Kylie Perkins. Number 20, Lydia Stuckey. Number 22, Emerson Kroll. And number 23, Ava Couture. The JV Warriors are coached by Trent Beer. Tonight's officials are Doug Dion and Larry Fielstra. Basket for Miller. Basket for Davis. In for Fairfield, number 2, Maddie Miller, and number 25, Macy Worthman. In for the Warriors, number 4, Taylon Tom. Basket's good for Miller. In for the Falcons, number 10, Daisy Campos. In for the Warriors, number 40, Olivia Frost. Basket's good for Miller. Timeout, Wawasee, 30-second timeout. Basket's good for Worthman. Wawasee foul number 12, McDonald. Her first, team first. In for the Warriors, number 22, Emerson Kroll. In for the Warriors, number 23, Couture. Wawasee foul number 23, Couture, her first, team second. Worthman at the line shooting 2. Line change for the Falcons in number 5, Davis, number 20, Hostetler, number 34, Brown, number 41, Lopez, and number 12, Herbert. Fairfield foul number 5, Davis, her first, team first. Couture at the line shooting 2. Basket's good for Davis. Basket's good for Frost. Fairfield foul number 5, Davis, her second, team second. In for the Falcons, number 25, Worthman. Fairfield foul number 25, Macy Worthman, her first, team third. Couture at the line shooting 2. In for the Falcons, number 23, Zoe Miller. In for the Warriors, number 4, Taylon Tom. Warrior foul number 40, Olivia Frost, her first, team third. Herbert at the line shooting 2. In for the Falcons, number 2, Maddie Miller. In for the Warriors, number 34, Jordan Sweeney. Fairfield foul number 20, Hostetler, her first, team fourth. Basket's good for Kroll. In for the Falcons, number 10, Daisy Campos. Fairfield foul, number 25, Worthman, her second, team fifth. McDonald in for the Warriors. In for the Falcons, number 5, Aaliyah Davis. Fairfield foul, number 12, Herbert, her first, team sixth. And for the Warriors, number 40, Olivia Frost. Basket's good for Miller. In for the Warriors, number 34, Jordan Sweeney.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA. High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Knighty. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA. High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Knighty. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
In for the Warriors, number 4, Taylon Tom. In for the Falcons, number 25, Macy Worthman. Fairfield foul, number 25, Worthman, her third, team first. Wawasee foul, number 40, Olivia Frost, her second, team first. In for the Warriors, number 12, Francie McDonald. Basket for Cronin. Timeout Fairfield, full timeout. In for the Falcons, number 2, Miller. Number 5, Davis. And number 10, Campos. For the Warriors, number 22, Kroll. And number 34, Sweeney. Basket's good for Miller. In for the Falcons, number 34, Brown, and number 41, Lopez. For the Warriors, number 14, Perkins. Fairfield foul, number 11, Cronin, her first, team second. In for the Warriors, number 40, Frost, and number 20, Stuckey. Stuckey for 3! Basket for Campos. Fairfield foul number 2, Miller, her first, team third. In for the Warriors, number 12, Francie McDonald. In for the Falcons, number 20, Hostetler, number 23, Miller, and number 12, Herbert. Basket for Perkins. In for the Warriors, number 34, Jordan Sweeney. In for the Falcons, number 25, Worthman. In for the Warriors, number 4, Talon Tom. Basket for Kroll. In for the Falcons, number 10, Daisy Campos. Timeout Fairfield, 30-second timeout. In for the Warriors, number 14, Kylie Perkins. Fairfield foul, number 12, Herbert, her second, team fourth. In for the Warriors, number 40, Olivia Frost. Basket's good for Perkins. Fairfield foul, number 2, Miller, her second, team fifth. In for the Falcons, number 5, Aaliyah Davis. Perkins at the line, shooting 1. In for the Warriors, number 22, Emerson Kroll. Timeout, Wawasee, full timeout. Your JV final, Falcons 22, Warriors 14.
It's time for Lady Wawasee Warrior Basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, online at 937themix.com, and live video at youtube.com/CPG-TV. The Lady Warriors will take on Fairfield. This year's broadcast is brought to you by the Gingrich Group, Dynamic Spine and Rehab Center, Goshen Home Medical, Protec Marine, Northern Lakes Realty, Wallace Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Northern Lakes Insurance, Sox Marina, Chubby's Pub and Grub, Beyond Landscaping, Our Group Real Estate, Keller Williams 5, Airgood Electric, Blue Barn Berry Farm and Event Venue, Quality Engineered Services, and Stealth Shield Solutions, LLC. Now let's take you to the Hardwood Teepee. With the call, here's students Grant Flora and Zach Bowen.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's varsity matchup between the Wawasee Warriors and the Fairfield Falcons. We're here at the Hardwood Teepee. I'm West Noble student Grant Flora, alongside Wawasee Zach Bowen, bringing you tonight's game. Zach, what do you think of tonight's matchup?
You know, the Lady Warriors and Lady Falcons are both very good teams so far this year. Every opponent they've played, they've blown out. By the stats we've seen, they're both 2-0 coming in this matchup. I'm expecting a close game and very tight to the end. I mean, I'm expecting a 2-point win or a 1-point win even. This is going to be a good game, and I'm ready to watch it.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake tonight. Both these teams will be in the same sectional this year. Fairfield got moved up from 2A to 3A with reclassification this year, so a lot at stake for that. Fairfield coming off a regional championship last season, so they've got a solid returning group here to come on and take the Warriors on here. It's going to be a good game, like you said. Just some things about these teams. Both of them run a good press.
Yeah.
That has really been successful for them in both their opening 2 games. They both shoot the ball well. So just a really good matchup that we have here tonight.
As you mentioned, they're going to play each other in the sectional, so obviously that's going to add something. They're going to see each other again, and to me that kind of builds like this rivalry type deal. Oh, we're going to see you again, so we want to beat you tonight and show that we're better. But, I'm excited to see it because, again, these 2 teams, they're going to meet again eventually. Maybe. It depends how sectionals goes, but they might meet each other again in the sectionals. And they're both coming out here to fight tonight and put on a good show. They're both 2-0, and nobody wants to add a loss to their name.
You're absolutely right. Hey, coming up shortly, we'll have an interview for you with Coach Gilreath. But we'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network. All right, good start.
Okay.
We still got all this stuff we can go to. We can talk stats. But first, we'll basically go straight into the interview, which is going to be about a 4-minute interview. So I'll just kind of introduce that, and then we'll cut.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Airgood Electric in Ligonier, offering electrical services for any project, including in-home, outdoors, new construction, or remodel. Airgood Electric at 1246 Lincoln Way South in Ligonier, 260-894-3842.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by R Group Real Estate, Keller Williams Thrive at 201 East Bowser Road in Syracuse, offering a real estate team to help you buy or sell a home with staging and white glove services, manage vacation rentals, and sell commercial properties. 574-457-3160 and online at thergrouprealestate.com.
Welcome back to the Hardwood Teepee as Wawasee gets set to take on Fairfield in what should be a really good matchup here tonight. Zach, earlier today you got the opportunity to interview with Coach Gilreath, so we have an exciting interview, and let's go hear from Coach and Zach.
Good evening, Coach. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well.
Coach, through these first 2 games of the season, your team has seen a lot of success. You've won them both with an average margin of victory at 18.5 points per game. And you've dominated on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. What's been the keys to your success here early?
Well, for us on the offensive end, the girls have done a really good job of buying into what we're trying to do as far as getting everybody involved and, taking open shots, attacking, when we have opportunities. And on the defensive end, same thing. They just play extremely hard, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And again, they've bought into what we're trying to do with our press and our, half-court defense. So.
To begin the season, you said that rebounding would be vital to your team's success throughout the year due to a young, undersized roster. So far, you've seen great success on the glass. How have you succeeded despite these factors?
Well, for us, like I said earlier, the girls, they just play extremely hard. On the offensive side of the ball, when shot goes up, they just go get it, and which is huge for us to, gain extra possessions by getting offensive rebounds. And then on the defensive side, that's just a non-negotiable for us. If they don't block out, they're probably not going to be on the court a whole lot. So, in practice, that's one of our main emphases, make sure we have 5 blockouts on the defensive end every time the opposing team shoots the ball.
Tonight, you'll take on Fairfield, who's coming off 2 convincing wins with a team that returned a core group of players from a regional championship. Where do they pose their biggest challenge to you tonight?
On the offensive end, they have some girls who can really shoot the ball. They have more weapons on offense than what we've seen in our previous 2 contests. And then on the defensive end, they have a lot of length that we haven't seen so far. And they play, a zone, 2 different zones actually, and we haven't seen a zone defense yet this year, so that'll be a little bit different for us for how we have to approach things on the offensive end, and be a little bit out of our comfort zone from what we had the first 2 games. But their length is key for them because they get so many deflections and cause a lot of problems by forcing weak passes and things with their length.
Both you and the Falcons have utilized a full court press early this year, which has paid dividends so far. You both like to turn defense into offense and get out and run. What's the key to scoring against the defensive effort from Fairfield?
Well, for us, I think key is understanding, where their pressure is coming from. With their press, it's a little bit different. Most teams that run a 2-2-1 press like to trap before half court, and they almost let you go past half court, and then they try to, tip from behind and get you to dribble into spots where they can trap and use, like I said earlier, use their length to force bad passes out of that. So same thing with their zone, they try to bait you into throwing the ball certain places, and then they can collapse, and it's tough to pass out because of their length that they put up top. So we just have to understand where the pressure is from and not, have silly turnovers because we're allowing them to do what they want on defense. We just need to make sure we, take care of the basketball.
Coach, thanks for coming and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, online at 937themix.com, youtube.com/CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Beyond Landscaping in Syracuse, a full-service landscape provider offering design, construction, and maintenance programs to residential, commercial, and surrounding lake properties. Beyond Landscaping in Syracuse, 574-527-7973, and online at beyondlandscaping.com.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Chubby's Pub and Grub in Syracuse, offering a full menu including daily lunch and dinner specials with a family room. Chubby's Pub and Grub on State Road 13 in Syracuse, 574-457-3855.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is powered by Sox Marina, servicing all the area lakes for over 60 years. Offering Diageo and Trifecta pontoons and Polar Craft fishing boats. All powered by Mercury and Tohatsu outboards and Excel hunting boats powered by Mud Buddy surface drive motors. Sox Marina on Webster and Barbie.
Hi, this is Vince Beasley. Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Northern Lakes Realty. We are a full-service realty company helping you buy and sell homes, as well as assisting you in any other real estate needs. Northern Lakes Realty has a hometown realty team ready to serve you. We are located across from Pickwick Theater in Uptown Syracuse. 574-457-2880 or online at nlrealtyllc.com.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Wallace Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Syracuse. They can help the residential or commercial customer with in-floor heat systems, high-efficiency tankless water heaters, and well and septic services. Wallace Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Syracuse. 574-457-9313 or online at wallacephc.com.
Well, here we are just about 7 minutes away from tip-off here between Wawasee and Fairfield. And, boy, we have a good one upon us tonight, Zach.
Oh, yeah, we do. I'd like to mention right now, both student sections really showed up tonight. I think they both know this can be a powerhouse matchup. And they both seem pretty fired up so far.
Yeah, we have great student sections. We have the band. It's going to be an exciting night as two really tough teams come and clash here at the Hardwood Teepee. Well, we look at tonight's game, Zach. Fairfield comes in, like we said, 2-0, but they've just really handled everyone well. And they've utilized the press. They've shot the ball well. They've done a lot of really good things. Bria Garber, who's actually the daughter of the coach, has played strong for the Falcons. Bailey Willard as well. They have a lot of weapons, as Coach Gilreath was saying in the interview.
And like you're saying there, too, Fairfield's been playing really strong, but Wawasee also has been playing really strong. I mean, they've blown out every team they played so far. We called one. And Olivia Horn for Wawasee, she's been really stepping up here lately. She almost had a double-double in the first game, had a double-double the last game. So those are two big things right there for her. And I think, like you said tonight, both teams are really similar almost. It seems like they're both really similar. And I think tonight it's going to be a test for both teams to see where they're really at. They're both undefeated, both have been dominating, so I'm really excited to see how they both play.
Well, that's big because, like you said, Horn has nearly had 2 double-doubles to start the season, and that's really important for Wawasee, as Coach Gilreath talked about, with the glass and rebounding. They're not the biggest team. Fairfield brings a lot of length and a lot of size, so Wawasee really has to step it up on the glass like they have these first 2 games in order to really compete with Fairfield.
Yeah. And, they're boxing out. As you mentioned, they've been really competitive on the glass. And they're boxing out everything I've seen in that first game. I hope they carry over here into this third game, not second, third game. Second game we've called. But, they've just been aggressive nonstop. From the stats that I've seen, they were really aggressive, and I'm expecting that tonight. And both teams are very aggressive. You can already tell just by the warm-ups, the way they've been warming up. They both look very aggressive, and I'm excited to see that actually play out on the court tonight.
Yeah, like you said, just some really good competition. Also, another thing we mentioned was shooting.
Yeah.
Both these teams are good from beyond the arc. For Wawasee, Mackenzie Hackelman had 20 points in their last outing against Prairie Heights, including 4 3-pointers. In the first outing for Fairfield against Jimtown, Bailey Willard had 4 threes and 16 points. So we've got some really good shooters on both sides. And it's going to be a shootout, but it's also going to be a really fast-paced game because, like we said, we have a press to involve. We have shooting. We have good offense. So really, really a lot of highlights coming from this game I see in the future.
And like Coach also mentioned, if Fairfield doesn't get that press, they like playing a zone, and I'm very excited to see how Wawasee plays against that zone.
Yeah, that zone is going to be key. A zone, usually you can find a lot of open looks from outside, so if Wawasee's hitting, they're going to be able to stay with Fairfield, but at some point they're going to have to get inside and score as well.
Yeah, and that's where Wawasee might have a struggle, but I'm not going to say they're going to struggle on the inside because like they've shown so far, the size does not matter with them. They might be smaller than the team, but they have a lot of fight in them to get in and get layups. But Fairfield, again, with all that size, I think they have one of the biggest girls I've seen so far this year. She is just tall, lengthy, and I'm expecting Wawasee to try to get around that, and I think they can the way they've been playing here lately.
Yeah, Fairfield comes in. They actually received votes to be ranked in the top 20 power rankings of the IHSAA coaches poll. So obviously that shows Fairfield's a quality team. We're only 2 games into the season, and they're there. And that's regardless of class. So you got all your big schools that are ranked in that top 20. So a really quality Fairfield team coming in here to take on the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, and again, this is a big matchup for them. With all those votes that they are receiving, this is one of those matchups that they could look at and say, hey, that team's undefeated and blowing out teams. They're a quality team. That could boost them up. And if Wawasee wins this game, that could really boost up Wawasee too. So, again, that's why I'm saying I'm just excited to see this. They're both coming out here with fire to play tonight.
Well, we're just a few minutes away from tip, so don't go anywhere. But we'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Northern Lakes Insurance in Syracuse, offering consumer and business insurance and group health plans. Northern Lakes Insurance, serving Syracuse since 1988. Behind McDonald's on Palm Drive, 574-457-5931, and online at northernlakesinsurance.com.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by ProTech Marine on Bishop Road, North Wawasee Golf Course. Mercury Marine Certified, offering sales, service, and storage. ProTech Marine, 12734 North Bishop Road in Syracuse. 457-2908 and online at protectmarine.net.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Goshen Home Medical, offering CPAPs, respiratory supplies, and a full line of home medical equipment with delivery. Goshen Home Medical at 1501 South Main Street in Goshen, 574-533-0626 or online at goshenhomemedical.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Dynamic Spine and Rehab Center, 106 East Pickwick Drive in Syracuse, offering chiropractic, acupuncture, and rehab services that will get you back into the game. Dynamic Spine and Rehab, east of Dairy Queen in Syracuse, 574-457-7472 and online at dynamicspinesyracuse.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Scott Gingrich with Gingrich Group Realty in Milford, offering a real estate group that can help you buy, sell, or build your home in Kosciuszko and surrounding counties with full-service property management services. Scott Gingrich with Gingrich Group Realty, located at 215 South Main Street in Milford, 574-306-7377, and online at thegingrichgroup.com.
Well, here we are just seconds away from the national anthem and starters. And Zach, we've been saying all broadcast here how good this game's going to be, how much of a challenge it'll be for Wawasee, seeing as they've handled their opponents pretty easily these first two games. But we're really going to see what they're made of here in tonight's game.
And I mean, just listen. We're going to let you listen here. Listen to the intensity in this building. Like, it's building tonight. I mean, this is going to be a really good game. I'm really excited. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I'm just excited. This is going to be amazing. I mean, 2-0, both 2-0 coming in here, both blown out teams. It's going to be really good. And the national anthem, I think, is going to play here real shortly.
Let's support the student athletes, coaches, officials, and your fellow fans the respect they deserve. We ask that you cheer to lift up your team rather than taunt or criticize the opponents and or officials. Your cooperation is appreciated. Please be advised that Wawasee High School is a smoke-free facility. The staff, administration, and all team members, along with the Indiana High School Athletic Association, thank you for your cooperation in not smoking. Good luck to both teams tonight. Tonight's varsity game features the Fairfield Falcons against your Wawasee Warriors. Before we introduce the teams, please stand and gentlemen remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Alrighty, folks, it's that time. It's time to announce our starting lineups tonight for Wawasee. They'll start with number 4, Lucy Wilkinson, number 10, Mackenzie Hackelman, number 12, Cadence Shepard, number 22, Olivia Horn, number 30, Molly Beer, and then they'll be coached tonight by Coach Derek Gilreath. For Fairfield, they'll start number 15, Bria Garber, number 24, Kaylee Dillon, number 30, Delana Geiger, number 32, Bailey Willard, and number 35, Jacelyn Hall. And they're coached tonight by Brody Garber.
All right, now for the keys for Wawasee. They want to have high intensity the whole game. That's what Coach said in the interview. Hold on here. The lights just went out, my bad. They want to defend the perimeter. They want to stop those threes. We've seen Fairfield warming up here. They are hot from the three, and they want to break the zone. Fairfield's going to play a zone tonight. This is the first time Wawasee's played against a zone, so they really want to break that zone and get hot here early. Now for Fairfield, they want to limit Wawasee's shots. They know Wawasee can shoot, so they want to stop that. Then they want to take quality shots themselves. They want good shot selection, shots they know they can make. Don't take the shots that you don't know if they're going to go in or not. And then they want to take care of the ball. I mean, every team wants to take care of the ball. They don't want turnovers. They want to score as much as they can. So, Grant, what's your thoughts on those keys?
Well, I think it really hits the nail on the head. For Fairfield, they know that they're a solid team and that if they can impose their will, then they're going to have their way tonight. But for Wawasee, their keys are very similar to what they've been all year. Now, break the zone obviously is new because they haven't faced a zone yet. I think part of that will come from shooting because they have to be able to shoot over the top of the zone, but you also have to get inside and score. That's really what breaks down a zone, is getting inside because that's what a zone is designed to stop. So for Wawasee, they have to execute that, and I think if they can do that, they'll stay right with Fairfield.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we're expecting an all-out battle tonight. And also with breaking the zone, you know, we mentioned Wawasee can shoot, so if they can get those outside shots and make those easy over Fairfield, I think we're in for a good game tonight. And I've been saying it all night, I think this is just going to be an amazing game.
Well, you can already see the atmosphere. The lights went out. Wawasee announced their starters. The crowd's going wild. The student sections are into it. Band. Here we go. Set for tip-off here. Wawasee versus Fairfield. Game 3 for both teams. Here we go. We're going to have Bria Garber tipping off against Molly Beer. And Fairfield wins the tip. Garber will control for Fairfield. Garber at the top of the key. Gives it up. Dillon in the corner. Inside. Out to Willard for three. Willard connects from deep early as Fairfield gets on the board up 3-0. Nice shot from Willard. We talked about how she can shoot. Wawasee quickly back. That's a corner three. And it's good right back. That was Hackelman coming off a 20-point outing. Back and forth we go here early. Just about 40 seconds into the game. Willard gives it back to Garber. Fairfield breaks the press. Nice find inside. Beer with the block. That was Willard. Geiger who tried to put in the layup. Gives it back to Garber. Fairfield had breaks it blocked, press, but then was fouled. Nice find inside.
Like you mentioned, back and forth so far. Both hitting threes early on. Both playing really aggressive on defense. A foul there. Not what you want from Wawasee, but a great start by both teams hitting here early.
So Geiger at the line for two here. But you can't connect on the first. Here's Geiger on the second. Puts it through, giving Fairfield the 1-point advantage. 4-3, just 45 seconds into this contest. And we can see that press from Fairfield working here early. Shepard tried to pass it over to Beer. It was taken away by Geiger. Geiger inside, finishes for two.
Fairfield's press is working early on here.
Yeah, just like we talked about. And Wawasee breaks it. Here's Wilkinson to Beer on the wing. Back up top. Here's Hackelman. Back to Wilkinson. Wilkinson tries from deep. Can't connect. That would have tied it. Offensive rebound comes to Beer. In the corner. Here's Hackelman. Hackelman brings it back out. Wilkinson up top for Wawasee. Over to the wing. Here's Shepard. Shepard gets it back up. This is going to be Horn. She finds Wilkinson. In the corner, Shepard back out to Wilkinson. Wawasee searching to find a way to break that zone right now. The guards passing it up top. Little miscommunication results in a deflection, but it was knocked out of bounds. Wawasee will retain possession.
Fairfield playing that zone very well, not letting Wawasee see any openings at all to get inside. And that's what Fairfield wanted. They said that before the game. That's what they wanted, and that's what they're getting so far.
Wilkinson to inbound, into Horn. Horn up top. Gives it back up to Wilkinson and then over to Hackelman. Ball swung around. Shepard Gives it up to Beer. And Geiger there to kick it out of bounds. And we'll see the length on display there from Fairfield.
Again, Fairfield, just that zone. They are not. I mean, there is no openings for Wawasee. I mean, we're seeing it. There's just no openings. Fairfield's playing an amazing zone.
Good deflection there from Dillon. Dillon in transition gets fouled on the layup attempt. So she'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Good hustle there by Wawasee. It was a foul, but that's still good hustle, getting back there and trying to block the shot. No easy shots here.
So Dillon will have 2 opportunities. They're going to get that foul, I believe, on Horn.
Yeah.
Just her first foul. Beer also with a foul as Dillon misses the first. 5:48 to play here in the first.
If you're Fairfield, you want to make these shots because who knows, these could come back later in the game.
0 for 2 for Dillon. Rebound falls to Hackelman of Wawasee. Hackelman pushes the ball in transition. Hackelman across to Wilkinson. Wilkinson on the wing. Nice find inside to Shepard and then back out to Hackelman. Hackelman penetrates, loses the ball. That's going to be off of Fairfield. So Wawasee will have it underneath.
Fairfield just using their length. I mean, they're reaching out the arm every time they see the ball, and they're just knocking it away. And you can tell that's kind of frustrating Wawasee here early on.
Open 3 for Shepard. She connects and ties the game up at 6
and you can tell
with 5:27 here in the first. Open 3 for Shepard. She connects early to tie it up once again. Fairfield with it now. Dillon on the wing. Here's Geiger. Gets it out to Willard. Willard on the wing finds Garber, who looks inside. That's Dillon for a short 2, and she puts it in, putting Fairfield back up. Garber by 2, who looks inside. That's Dillon for a short 2. And
this is what we said we were going to see, and we're seeing it so far.
Wawasee breaks the press. Beer with it on the wing. Wilkinson pushed way out near that half-court line to Horn. Beer. Horn on the wing. Penetrates. Kicks. Shepard back out to Wilkinson. Beer on the wing. Gives it up. Hackelman tries the corner 3. Going to be short. Rebound comes to Garber of Fairfield, and she'll push the ball in transition. Geiger on the wing. Gives it inside. That's Hall, who went up for 2. Got fouled, so she'll go to the line.
Wawasee here early on committing those fouls. That's not what you want. And it's putting Fairfield on the line for 2 easy points. And if you're Fairfield, you want these points because so far, I mean, it's just been back and forth action. They've both been stopping each other on defense, both been scoring. I mean, and if you're Fairfield, again, you just want these.
Yeah,
these are easy points.
Fairfield, I believe, just 1 of 4 at the line so far as Hall puts that one in. So now make it 2 of 5. But more importantly for Wawasee, that's going to be Horn's second foul.
Yeah.
And Horn has done a lot for Wawasee in these recent games, so you don't want to see her get into foul trouble. And 2 fouls early is not a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, you want her in the game as much as possible. With 2 fouls, you obviously can't use her that much, so, well, at least for the remainder of the first quarter.
Both shots good for Hall, putting Fairfield up 10-6. Again with that press. Here's Wawasee looking to break it. Wilkinson. Good pass. And here's Hackelman at the nail. Gets it back up to Wilkinson. That's Brooklyn Gibson who checked in for Wawasee. Checked in for Horn. And another kick by Garber sends that one into the stands. Really causing some trouble out there on defense.
That was a boot, too. I mean, that was a boot.
All right, Wawasee going to call a timeout here. I believe just a 30-second, so we'll keep it here. Like we kind of thought early, a really high-intense game.
Yeah.
And a really back-and-forth game. 10-6, Fairfield leads right now. Wawasee shooting well, hit 2 threes to stay in it. Everything we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everything we thought it was going to be. We thought Wawasee was coming here to shoot threes. They have so far. We knew Fairfield was going to use their height. They have so far. And they've really used that reach on defense. I mean, when we were talking about that reach, the way they're using it, I was not expecting that, to be honest, the way they are using it. Because, I mean, they are just every time there's a pass, they're breaking it up with their hands. They just put it out there, and they make it look easy almost. But Wawasee's finding ways around it. I mean, they scored 2 threes off of getting around it. And I feel like if Wawasee can slow down the Fairfield offense, this game can just be neck and neck the whole time. I mean, it still is. This has been an amazing game so far.
All right, so Wawasee will control possession here. Wilkinson will pass it in. .356 on the clock, first quarter. Wilkinson to inbound. No one to give it to. Gets it into Shepard, just avoided the 5-second call. Shepard will run things from up top. Here's Brooklyn Gibson to Beer. Beer in the short corner. Looks for a flasher, tried to get it to Hackelman, and she was fouled. Some good action there to try and get inside and score against that zone.
If Wawasee can keep that up, I mean, they can get some easy buckets and get really back in this game.
Hackelman out to Beer. Back to Hackelman in the corner for 3. Puts it through. Another 3 for Hackelman to close the lead down to 1.
She is
back to Hackelman in the corner
early.
for 3. Puts it through. Willard for Fairfield. Gives it up to Hall. Good deflection there from Hackelman to force that out of bounds.
Yeah, for being the smaller team, Wawasee is playing really big, especially when that ball gets into the paint. They are stopping passes, getting up, being aggressive on the shots. And, I mean, there is a size difference, but they're using, the speed. And it's speed, that's what I mean, the speed, yeah.
Here's Fairfield. Garber on top of the key. Works, penetrates, gets it out. Up top to Whitaker. Penetration, Herbert. Back out to Whitaker. Hall inside to Herbert. Eva Herbert, the freshman. Gives it up. Here's Garber for 3. Had it deflected. Ooh. And it comes down. It's going to be out of bounds to stay with Fairfield. Good defense to get out on Garber there and deflect that shot. They know Garber can shoot, and they want to stop that and keep Fairfield away from those perimeter points. Garber puts it up for 2 and scores. Got in the lane. Nice little jumper there. Puts Fairfield back up 12-9. Wilkinson to Hackelman. Inside to Shepard. Shepard up top. Wilkinson on the wing. Wilkinson dribbles around, gets it over to Shepard. Wawasee still trying to crack that zone and get inside. Shepard pushed way out. Gives it up to Hackelman. Gibson takes the 3. No good. Rebound comes to Fairfield. Geiger to Garber. And Garber will push the ball. Here's Geiger. Gives it up. Herbert inside. Nice move. Nice finish. Fairfield up 14-9 off the take from Herbert.
Fairfield's starting to heat up here, breaking Wawasee's defense apart.
Shepard kicks it out. Beard tries a 3. Too strong. Rebound loose. Knocked away by Wawasee. Back to Fairfield. Bailey Willard and Kaylee Dillon will check in for Fairfield. Garber will take a rest. Hall will as well. Minute 40 to play here in the first. Fairfield leads 14-9. Here's Willard just crosses half court. Inside, Herbert finds Willard. Herbert in the corner. Gives it back to Willard. Pushed out at the top of the key. Little miscommunication defensively. That was to Whitaker, but she traveled as she faked and tried to drive around.
She got a little hoppy there, and, that's going to be called a travel every time. And I like these refs so far being consistent on both sides with the calls. I mean, both teams making early mistakes, and obviously that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for from the referees is consistency. Here's Shepard of Wawasee on the wing. Wilkinson. Had it deflected, and it's going to be taken away by Dillon. And she'll be forced to bring it back out. Here's Willard at the top of the key. Over to a teammate. Back to Willard at the top of the key for three. Willard puts it through to put Fairfield up 17-9. Over to a teammate. Willard back now to Willard at the top of the key for three.
You don't want to leave her
Willard
open at all.
Wawasee quickly back. Hackelman tried to find Gibson. It was deflected out of bounds. Wawasee back with it underneath the hoop. Ball in, nice find to Gibson, and she puts it through. Well executed out of bounds play there for Wawasee. Willard back with it for Fairfield. Willard crosses half court. Avoids the trap, gets it to Dillon. Willard. Searching. Finds Herbert. Dillon with it up top. 10 seconds to go here in the first. Fairfield holding for the last shot. Down to 6 seconds. That's a three from Whitaker. No good. Dillon there for the rebound, puts it up and gets it to go at the buzzer. Putting Fairfield up 19-11 at the break. An excellent way to end the quarter for Fairfield.
Yeah, this is what we expected.
All right, end of the first quarter. We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball here on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Stealth Shield
Dillon
Solutions in Syracuse, providing simple and effective solutions to support your school's safety directives and district vision. Guidance and tools for any of your school safety needs. Stealth Shield Solutions in Syracuse. Online at stealthshieldsolutions.com.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Quality Engineered Services in Syracuse, manufacturing dash assemblies and wiring harnesses primarily supporting OEM boat manufacturers and other products including marine, bus, automotive, and more since 2017. Quality Engineered Services at 1101 North Indiana Avenue in Syracuse, 574-457-3988, and online at theqes.com.
Well, here we go as we start the second quarter. Taken away by Garber with the early steal. Dillon in transition. Has it swatted away by Beer. And Hackelman comes up with it, but Fairfield was right there to force the jump ball. Quick start to the quarter.
Yeah, Hackelman's been all over the court so far. She has 2 threes early on here. A big defensive play there, getting in and just getting the stop. I mean, she's been all over the floor tonight.
So here's Fairfield. Geiger inside to Garber. Puts it up for two. Can't get the roll. And I believe that was Hall who got in there to try and get the rebound, but it was out of bounds and back to Wawasee. And Garber nearly gets the steal off the inbound pass. And it'll go out of bounds off of Wawasee, so Fairfield will take possession.
Again, Fairfield with that press, it is just phenomenal. They're getting in there, breaking up the ball, and right there knocking it off a player's foot. I mean, they're just playing amazing.
Garber nearly loses it, but now it's back to Willard. Dillon thought about a three, tried to drive in, but she traveled. So here's Wawasee to inbound. Not even 30 seconds into the second quarter. Wilkinson had it nearly taken away and taken away by Dillon. Garber comes up with it. And Wawasee will get the jump ball. I thought for a second they were trying to get a timeout there, but they're not going to get there before the jump ball.
Coach obviously not happy about that. Jumping up and down trying to get the timeout, but just didn't get it called in time.
Wilkinson finds Hackelman on the wing. Hackelman up to Wilkinson. Over to Shepard here, out on the wing. The Wawasee guards work it around, trying to find a hole in that zone. Wilkinson tries from the top of the key. Not quite. And the ball is out of bounds. Fairfield will take back possession.
Again, both teams here at the start of this quarter just playing amazing. Stopping each other from getting easy buckets. I mean, this has been an amazing game so far.
Yeah, a minute into the quarter here. Still 19-11. Garber with it. Over to Willard. Garber up top. Here's Herbert, back to Garber. Garber penetrates. Herbert drives in, puts it up. Floater no good. Rebound to Wawasee. That was Couture. Hackelman tries from deep. No good. Rebound to Beer. She puts it up from the elbow. She can't connect. Willard comes down with the rebound. Willard of Fairfield. Up ahead. Here's Herbert. Garber inside. Out to Willard. Thought about the three. 2 for 2 so far tonight. Instead gives it up to Herbert. Hall had it poked away, but Herbert is right there to pick it up. Willard. Entry pass to Garber. Garber can't quite get it to roll. Hall there for the rebound. She can't finish. Hackelman fights and gets the rebound. Up ahead to Beer. One-on-one. Beer and Willard. Beer puts it up. No good. Too strong. Rebound to Herbert of Fairfield. And Willard will slow it up for Fairfield with 5:41 to play in the second. Both teams scoreless so far in the quarter. Garber to Willard. Willard finds Hall. Over to Herbert. Entry pass to Garber. Garber on the block. Spins, puts it up. Had it blocked by Couture, but they're going to call a foul. So Garber will take 2 shots at the line.
Garber again just being aggressive on the inside.
Also using her height to her advantage.
Her height, that's a big thing right there, using her height to her advantage.
Yeah, they've been posting her up as Garber knocks down the first. Down there on that block, and they found some success. She's really good in that mid-range area. She's been effective so far. Garber connects on both attempts. Puts Fairfield up by 10, 21-11, with 5:22 to play in the half. Wawasee works against the press. Hackelman across to Beer. Beer on the wing. In the corner, gets it out. Shepard. Shepard thought about it. Gives it up to Hackelman. Back to Shepard. She tries from 3. No good. Beer the rebound. And the ball's loose. We'll have a jump ball. This one will go back to Fairfield.
Again, Fairfield's using that height to their advantage, really getting inside there and punishing the Warriors with their height.
You can see Fairfield's limited Wawasee to taking those outside shots. Wawasee struggled to get in the paint and really make some impact down from that 2-point range. Here's Fairfield attempting to break the press. Garber gets across half court. In the corner, here's Geiger. Back to Garber. Garber to Herbert. Herbert gets in to the elbow, puts it up for 2, no good. Gets it back, and here's Willard. Back up to Garber. Garber guarded by Wilkinson, kicks it out. Herbert gets it back into Garber, over Wilkinson, no good. Fight for the rebound, we're going to have a foul. And I think this will go against Fairfield. A lot of hard work going into those rebounds right now. Both these teams have really fought well in their first 2 games of the season, and we're seeing a really good battle here tonight. Here's Wilkinson. Gives it up to Hackelman. Wilkinson and Hackelman work it. Couture now has it for Wawasee across the line. And Horn will draw the foul. Horn back in for Wawasee. We saw an absence from her due to foul trouble.
Yeah.
She's back in. Hopefully for Wawasee will make a big difference.
And that's what Wawasee wants. They wanted her back in. I mean, she's been the scorer so far for Wawasee. But, I mean, the whole team's been stepping up.
Horn saves it from the backcourt. And now it's Wilkinson to Hackelman in the corner. Back to Wilkinson. Wilkinson over to Shepard. Shepard gives it up to Couture. She tried to find Horn inside, but it was deflected and taken from by Fairfield. Willard up ahead to Herbert. Herbert loses it. Horn comes up with it. Horn pushes the ball for Wawasee. Wilkinson pushed out deep in the wing. Now up top, gives it up to Hackelman on the opposite wing. Hackelman gets inside. Tough take, draws the foul. She'll be going to the line for 2, I believe. Or actually, they're going to call it on the floor. We have a player down. All right, so kind of like we mentioned, Fairfield really limiting Wawasee. Wawasee's had to take outside shots. They knocked down a few early, but since then they've been a bit dry.
Yeah, I mean, both teams here so far in this second quarter, they've both been kind of off with their shots. Yeah, I mean, this.
Yeah, and right now for Fairfield, they're still finding points inside. They've been able to get it into Garber. They've been able to draw some fouls. So. All right, well, we'll take a break here for the injury. We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Stealth Shield Solutions in Syracuse, providing simple and effective solutions to support your school's safety directives and district vision, guidance, and tools for any of your school safety needs. Stealth Shield Solutions in Syracuse, online at stealthshieldsolutions.com.
Oh, I never put yours on.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, the players will take the court. 3:21 to play here in the second. Fairfield leading 21-11. And it will be Wawasee basketball underneath. And we certainly hope that she is okay.
You never want to see that.
Wawasee will inbound. Here's Shepard. Shepard up top. Tabir on the elbow. Searching. Back out to Shepard. Horn on the wing. Excuse me, that was Hackelman. Here's Horn in the corner. And they'll call a travel against the Warriors. So this will go back to Fairfield. So Fairfield takes over. Here's Garber. Willard back to Garber. Ahead to Whitaker. And Willard has it on the wing. Gives it up to Whitaker. She had it poked away. Hackelman tripped up. And they're going to call a kick ball. I think Hackelman used her feet to collect the ball. I think Coach Gilreath wanted a foul as Hackelman was tripped up. But it's going to end up being Fairfield ball. Whitaker. Up top. Finds Garber on the wing. Guarded by Horn. Gives it up to Dillon. Dillon. Over to Garber. Garber on the wing. In the short corner. Finds Dillon. Swings it across to Whitaker for 3. Short. Rebound comes to Beer. And Wawasee will take over. Wilkinson in transition on the wing. Doesn't find anything. Over to Shepard. Shepard penetrates. Nowhere to go. Back out to Wilkinson. Wilkinson searching. Finds Shepard in the corner. Quickly back out to Wilkinson. Across to Beer. Shepard tries to drive baseline, but Geiger was there. Back into Hackelman. Shepard tries from deep. No good. Horn there for the rebound. She puts it back up and scores. Olivia Horn with the rebound and the points, where she's been doing all season there for the rebound. She puts it back up and scores. Dillon on the wing. Fairfield looking to retaliate quickly. Garber finds Whitaker. Out to Dillon for three. No good. Rebound to Hackelman. And here comes Wawasee. Hackelman to Shepard. Back to Hackelman. Wilkinson to Horn. She tries from deep, and she connects. Horn with 5 straight points to half the deficit, and they get a 5-point game once again. She tries from deep, and she connects. Garber.
Fairfield does not want Horn to heat up here, and now she's starting to heat up.
She's made a difference for the Warriors tonight. Garber on the elbow. Guarded by Wilkinson. Goes over the top. No good. Horn brings down a rebound. Wilkinson gets across. And now it's Shepard on the wing. Horn into Beer. Beer. Defense collapses. Gets it back out to Horn, who finds Hackelman. Open Wilkinson in the corner. Too strong. And Willard comes up with it. Another open shot for Wawasee on the perimeter. And they've knocked enough of them down to stay close. Garber to Whitaker. Here's Geiger on the elbow. Has to kick it back out. Garber up top. 12 seconds to play here in the half. Fairfield looking for the last shot. They've been held to 2 points here in the second quarter. Garber, guarded by Beer. Nowhere to go. 3 seconds. Willard has to put it up. And it's not going to go at the buzzer. Fairfield heads into the locker room with a 5-point lead over Wawasee, 21-16. In what's been a really tight game. Horn brought it back for Wawasee, and it's just been really what we expected in the first half.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what we expected. I mean, both teams really come out here playing tough for the first half, and I'm excited to see how the second half goes.
All right, we'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Quality Engineered Services in Syracuse, manufacturing dash assemblies and wiring harnesses primarily supporting OEM boat manufacturers and other products including marine, bus, automotive, and more since 2017. Quality Engineered Services at 1101 North Indiana Avenue in Syracuse, 574-457-3988, and online at theqes.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Blue Barn Berry Farm, an event venue in Syracuse, offering 2 event venues to host private gatherings, including graduation parties, weddings, Christmas parties, reunions, and corporate events. Blue Barn Berry Farm, an event venue by Deward Lake in Syracuse, on Facebook and online at bluebarnberryfarm.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Air Good Electric in Ligonier, offering electrical services for any project, including in-home, outdoors, new construction, or remodel. Air Good Electric at 1246 Lincoln Way South in Ligonier, 260-894-3842.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Our Group Real Estate, Keller Williams Thrive at 201 East Bowser Road in Syracuse, offering a real estate team to help you buy or sell a home with staging and white glove services, manage vacation rentals, and sell commercial properties. 574-457-3160 and online at theourgrouprealestate.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Beyond Landscaping in Syracuse, a full-service landscape provider offering design, construction, and maintenance programs to residential, commercial, and surrounding lake properties. Beyond Landscaping in Syracuse, 574-527-7973, and online at beyondlandscaping.com.
EP, where Fairfield currently leads Wawasee 21-16, and we've seen a really highly contested first half where Fairfield's just been able to get a bit of an edge over Wawasee. But a lot of the things we talked about pregame we've kind of seen here in this first half. So a really good start.
Yeah, and I want to mention some points here for both teams. Mackenzie Haukelman, she had to step up here because Olivia Horn went out. She got 6 points. Kaden Shepard has 3. Brooklyn Gibson has 2. And Olivia Horn, she comes in towards the end and gets 5 points to really tighten up that game before halftime. And then on the Fairfield side, Herbert has 1 point, Garber has 4, Dillon with 4, Geiger with 4, and Willard with 6, and Hall with 2. So Fairfield's just spreading out the ball here early. I mean, they've been all around the court. Defense, offense, they've been trying to take over all sorts of gameplay here during this game.
Yeah, coming into the broadcast, we talked about how Fairfield's going to run a zone. It's something Wawasee hasn't seen yet. And so far we've seen Wawasee be able to score, but a lot of it's come from the outside. They've been limited as what they can do on the inside. Just 2 2-point field goals in that first half. One was an offensive rebound from Horn. Another one was an inbound pass to Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
So for Wawasee, you got to be looking at that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, limited to the outside. Wawasee was hitting from there towards the end. And, I mean, you know, if Wawasee keeps on heating up like they are, I mean, they've been going off and on these little hot streaks where they'll be hitting and then they'll kind of go cold for a minute. But Fairfield's been doing the same thing. I mean, it's just been a back-and-forth battle. And like we said, we kind of expected this. We were really expecting a really close game. And, I mean, I was thinking we were going to halftime with a 10-point lead for Fairfield. But then Horn just came in, hits 2 big shots. And look, they're down by 5 now. I mean, they've just been back and forth all night.
Well, when we saw the significance of her absence,
yeah,
she had to leave with 2 fouls in the first quarter. And that's something that when she came back, she brought Wawasee back.
Yeah.
And if she can avoid foul trouble and play a full 16 minutes here in the second half, Wawasee might be able to climb back, and this is going to be a really tight game down the stretch.
I mean, she already showed that she can do that coming in. She makes a big difference. That shows Wawasee another weapon. And I think that's where Fairfield's really going to step up. And probably talking about that in the locker room, you know, her coming back in, that's really good for Wawasee. And, you know, again, both teams on both sides of the ball have just been playing really good. And both presses have been really working here, too, for both teams.
Yeah, both presses have been. I think Fairfield's has been a little more intimidating, a little more pressuring. It's taken Wawasee a little longer to break it. We haven't seen any 10-second calls. I think Fairfield's gotten a couple more steals off of it than what Wawasee has when it comes to the press. But both teams have handled it pretty well. Yeah. And as far as points off turnovers, things like that, it hasn't been a huge factor in this game so far.
Yeah. And, I mean, both teams, again, I mean, just that whole back-and-forth battle, as you mentioned right there, you know, points off turnovers have not been coming. And when they do get a turnover and they're running down the court, I mean, Fairfield or Wawasee, they're both right there trying to get a block up on the shot. And if they get a foul, they get a foul. But, I mean, they've both been playing very aggressive. Another thing I'd like to add is Fairfield really using their height here and their length. That's what kind of slowed Wawasee down for a while, just that length really getting in their face. And I think that was kind of shocking to Wawasee, as this is probably one of the taller teams they've played all year. So that's probably really impacting them.
Well, and both teams in these first 2 games of the season have made a living off of steals and points and transition off of turnovers, kind of like we've been saying. I think both teams averaged 19 steals a game through these first 2 games. And they've been getting a lot of deflections, just been able to take that ball away and really get out and run and score in transition. We haven't seen that tonight. Both teams have had to work a little bit more in the half court and really work inside. For Wawasee, it's been against that zone. For Fairfield, it's been trying to get inside and score with, like, Garber and that sort of thing.
But even with Fairfield on the outside, I mean, you can leave them open on the outside, but then they start hitting out there. And that's kind of where Wawasee, they've started to realize they got locked down on both sides. And then for Fairfield, they kind of started doing the same thing. They said, okay, they're hitting on the outside, let's start focusing on the outside more. Then Wawasee just goes on the inside and gets a layup. I mean, both teams, like I said, they're very similar the way they play. And that's where I think they both are kind of going back and forth in each other. And I feel like this second half they're going to come out and start figuring out each other. And I feel like this is going to be a battle right down to the finish.
All right, well, we're about 3 minutes away here from the start of the second half, so we'll get that around, and we'll be back with more Wawasee Warrior basketball here on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Hi, this is Vince Beasley. Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Northern Lakes Realty. We are a full-service realty company helping you buy and sell homes, as well as assisting you in any other real estate needs. Northern Lakes Realty has a hometown realty team ready to serve you. We are located across from Pickwick Theater in Uptown Syracuse. 574-457-2880 or online at nlrealtyllc.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Wallace Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Syracuse. They can help the residential or commercial customer with in-floor heat systems, high-efficiency tankless water heaters, and well and septic services. Wallace Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Syracuse, 574-457-9313, or online at wallacephc.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Northern Lakes Insurance in Syracuse, offering consumer and business insurance and group health plans. Northern Lakes Insurance, serving Syracuse since 1988. Behind McDonald's on Palm Drive, 574-457-5931, and online at northernlakesinsurance.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Protect Marine on Bishop Road, North Wawasee Golf Course. Mercury Marine Certified, offering sales, service, and storage. Protect Marine, 12734 North Bishop Road in Syracuse. 574-457-2908 and online at protectmarine.net.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Goshen Home Medical, offering CPAPs, respiratory supplies, and a full line of home medical equipment with delivery. Goshen Home Medical at 1501 South Main Street in Goshen, 574-533-0626, or online at goshenhomemedical.com.
Welcome back to the Hardwood Teepee, where Wawasee currently trails by 5 against Fairfield, 21-16, and what's been a really good first half and an exciting second half awaits.
All right, real quick here, I'm going to do the community event. The 15th annual Milford Holiday Market will be held Saturday, November 19th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Milford School. A variety of small businesses, artists, crafters, and a kids market from in and around the community will be featured. Breakfast and lunch will be available by Milford Helping Hands. Make sure to go check that out.
All righty, here we go. Set to start the second half. And Wawasee will control things here to start it. Wilkinson has it. Over to Horn on the wing. Horn to the right, Hackelman to the right corner. Puts up a three, no good. Offensive rebound, here's Shepard. Wilkinson. Hackelman at the top of the key. Finds Horn in the right corner. Taken away by Willard. Here comes Willard of Fairfield. Willard up top. To Dillon. Dillon on the wing. Gives it up to Willard. Willard back up to Dillon. Sets a screen. Garber inside. Puts it through. And Fairfield scores first in this second half. Back up to Dillon. Sets a screen. Garber inside, puts it through.
Coming out and playing that press even more aggressive again. That's kind of slowing down Wawasee here.
Well, Fairfield with the takeaway there as Beer looks to pass that across the court. Garber back with it on the right wing. Gives it up, Dillon. Attacks, puts it up, short, rebound to Horn, and back comes Wawasee. 6:50 to play here in the third. Horn takes it all the way to the rack, but can't score. Coast to coast, almost put it through. Instead, Herbert pulls in the rebound, and here comes Fairfield. Willard on the wing. Penetrates, gets in the lane. Kicks it out to Dillon, who finds Geiger in the corner. Back to Willard, and then up to Garber at the top of the key. Garber inside, puts it up, drew the foul to go to the line for two.
Fairfield again just attacking that rim as much as possible. And Wawasee just getting slowed up by that press again. I think it's kind of shocking them coming out. You know, both teams were tired at the end. The press was letting up, and now that press is just back to full strength, and I think that's kind of shocking Wawasee here early on.
Yeah, Bria Garber really causing a matchup problem for Wawasee. She's a guard, but she's also really tall, really lengthy, and Wawasee just doesn't have a very good matchup for her on defense. Garber knocks down the first and puts in the second, giving Fairfield a 9-point lead.
That pushes her up to 8 points tonight.
Hackelman tried to get it into Wilkinson, but it was taken by Garber. Herbert tries from deep. Off the mark. Rebound by Geiger, but they're going to say she was on the baseline. So Wawasee will take back possession. Ball into Wilkinson. Hackelman. Horn had it deflected and taken away. Herbert to Dillon on the wing. Dillon penetrates, kicks it out. Garber open for three. Short, that would have been a big shot. Instead, Horn comes up with a rebound and pushes the ball for Wawasee. Horn, cross court to Shepard. She couldn't come up with the handle, so it goes out of bounds back to Fairfield.
So Wawasee checked in Couture for Horn.
So, yeah, Horn going to take a break. Doing a lot of dirty work for Wawasee right now. Garber brings it up for Fairfield and finds Dillon on the right wing. Willard to Garber. Back to Herbert. Herbert back out to Garber up top. Garber finds Willard on the right wing. Garber kicks it back out. Willard now on the left side. Garber up top. Garber penetrates. Defense collapses. Willard open for three. Make it 3 for 3 on the night for Willard. From outside. Garber penetrates. She puts Defense in another. Collapses. Willard open for three. 28-16.
Make it 3. She cannot miss from outside. Wawasee needs to really collapse on that and not let her get those open shots.
Willard nearly comes up with a steal as the ball was intended for Beer, but she gets called for a foul.
Number 32, Willard, her first, team first. Whitaker in for the foul.
Just the first foul on Willard. Kaylee Dillon will check out for Fairfield. Whitaker checks in. Wilkinson penetrates, puts up the floater, too strong. Rebound to Fairfield. This will be Whitaker. Gives it up to Geiger. Willard in there. Left corner, now left wing, Herbert. Herbert works, spins, puts it up in the lane. Too strong. Rebound to Beer. And they'll get Herbert for the foul. Herbert, just a freshman, has come in and contributed well for Fairfield at the beginning of the season.
I mean, like you said, she's only a freshman and she's out here playing really good on varsity. That's a promising future for Fairfield.
She put up 15 points in their season opener off the bench. And here's Wawasee. Gets it across half court. Shepard off to Couture. And they'll get Couture for a travel. Here's Fairfield back in control. So far a 7-0 lead in the third quarter for Fairfield. Willard up top. Willard searching. Finds Whitaker. Whitaker penetrates. Kicks it out. Herbert tries from the left side. Puts it through. Another triple for Fairfield. Whitaker penetrates. Kicks it out. Herbert and tries Coach from the left side. Will want a timeout. Puts it through. Another as Fairfield takes a 15-point lead with 4:06 to play in the third. This will be a full timeout. So we'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Dynamic Spine and Rehab Center, 106 East Pickwick Drive in Syracuse, offering chiropractic, acupuncture, and rehab services that will get you back into the game. Dynamic Spine and Rehab, east of Dairy Queen in Syracuse, 574-457-7472, and online at dynamicspinesyracuse.com.
All right. All right, Fairfield going on a bit of a run here. Actually a 10-0 run since the beginning of the third quarter to put up a pretty big lead here. But Wawasee still searching here as they call a timeout to get on the board here for the third quarter. Horn checks back in for Wawasee. Here's Wilkinson. Nice find inside to Horn. She puts it up and scores. Nice left-handed layup there to put Wawasee on the board for the first time. Nice find inside to Horn. She puts it up and scores. Nice. Garber gets it across the timeline. Willard back to Garber on the wing. Garber puts it up. And that's going to be an air ball that goes out of bounds. Coach Garber thought that she was fouled. Actually, they're going to give this back to Fairfield. They'll say it was deflected. Nice takeaway from Hackelman, but she couldn't save it. Garber comes up with it. Herbert, nice move, puts it up. Not going to go. And Horn comes up with a rebound. Back comes Wawasee. Hackelman up top. Hackelman penetrates, kicks it out to Wilkinson, who can't quite corral it. And it goes back to Fairfield.
Wawasee struggling with turnovers to open up the second half, and that's obviously not what they want to do.
Garber back with it for Fairfield. Garber to Geiger. Back to Willard. Willard searching up top. Into Garber. Garber inside, draws a foul and puts it in. And one for Bria Garber. She'll go to the line to tack on one more. Garber inside, draws a foul and puts her in the double figures for the night.
Garber is just really taking over here. And we said if she started heating up, this game could get out of hand, and it kind of is now. Wawasee is trying to put on a fight, but she's tall, and she's just taking over. And as you mentioned, she's a guard, and how tall she is, and Wawasee cannot find the matchup.
Right, yeah, she's been a mismatch for Wawasee all game, and she's continuing to take advantage of that. And here she goes to put in one more. Going to be short. Rebound to Shepard of Wawasee. Shepard tried to find Beer, but she lost it, and it's back to Dillon. Dillon on the right wing. Trapped. Nowhere to go. And Fairfield will call a timeout to save the possession. This will be a full timeout. We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Scott Gingrich with Gingrich Group Realty in Milford, offering a real estate group that can help you buy, sell, or build your home in Kosciuszko and surrounding counties with full-service property management services. Scott Gingrich with Gingrich Group Realty, located at 215 South Main Street in Milford, 574-306-7377, and online at thegingrichgroup.com.
To 18 with 2:40 to play here in the third. And Fairfield's really kind of taken a step and established a really nice lead here in this third quarter.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just pushing on the inside, using that height against Wawasee. Wawasee's not liking it. They can't stop it so far. And then on the other side of the ball, Wawasee's doing turnovers that are being costly. Those are really costly turnovers that Wawasee does not want.
Yeah, fatigue could be a factor for Wawasee. As Fairfield finds Garber inside, she can't finish, but she tracks down her own rebound. Here's Willard up top. Garber tries the deep three. No good. And this will go out of bounds back to Wawasee.
Wawasee here, a bucket would be huge for them.
Yeah, Wawasee not out of it. Shepard looking to cross the timeline. That's going to be a dangerous pass. Garber takes it. Garber to Willard on the left side, left wing. Willard back up top. Willard to Cronin. Over the top to Garber. She gets fouled and she puts it through again. Garber unstoppable in the paint to Cronin. Over the top to Garber. She gets fouled.
Garber has really just taken over this game.
Gives her 12 points on the night with a chance for one more. Second foul on Hackelman. Garber has a chance for one more here. And she converts. Wawasee has to find a way to crack that press right now. It's kind of forced some turnovers for them. They get it across the timeline. Here's Hackelman. Wilkinson over to Shepard on the left side. Shepard back out to Wilkinson. It's a three from Hackelman. No good. Rebound to Whitaker. She pushes it for Fairfield. Garber. Nice find inside to Dillon. Had it blocked. Good hustle from Hackelman to get there. Here's Beer in transition. Beer to Horn. Kicks it out. Hackelman tries from deep. No good. Garber comes down with the rebound. Garber up top. Over to Willard. Left side three. Make it 4 for 4 on the night for Bailey Garber Willard. Over to Willard.
She has 12
left
points.
side three. Make it
She
4.
puts
Fairfield up 39-18 with a minute to play in the third.
And the threes. Wawasee needs to close out on those threes.
Beer to Wilkinson in the corner. Left corner shot, no good. Horn comes down with the rebound. And that ball's kicked out of bounds by Garber into the Wawasee bench.
In for the Falcons, number 30, Geiger, and number 3.
So Garber and Dillon will take a rest. 45 seconds on the clock. Wawasee has the ball. Into Hackelman. Hackelman in the right corner, right wing. Over to Beer. Back to Hackelman. Finds Horn in the short corner. Horn kicks it back out. Hackelman tries from deep. No good. Back to Shepard. Horn. Hackelman swings it out to Beer. Hackelman inside to Shepard. Shepard nowhere to go. Back to Hackelman. Nice pass to Horn in the corner. Not going to draw iron. 13 seconds to play in the quarter. Fairfield wants the last shot. Willard. Whitaker. 5 seconds on the clock. Whitaker inside. Nice take. Can't finish. Beer the rebound. Beer hoists it at the end. That'll conclude the third quarter. Fairfield takes control of the game, leading 39-18, holding Wawasee to 2 points in the quarter. We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Stealth Shield Solutions in Syracuse, providing simple and effective solutions to support your school's safety directives and district vision, guidance, and tools for any of your school safety needs. Stealth Shield Solutions in Syracuse, online at stealthshieldSolutions.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Quality Engineered Services in Syracuse, manufacturing dash assemblies and wiring harnesses primarily supporting OEM boat manufacturers and other products including marine, bus, automotive, and more since 2017. Quality Engineered Services at 1101 North Indiana Avenue in Syracuse, 574-457-3988, and online at theqes.com.
Here we are back ready for the fourth quarter where Fairfield has taken a lead and now looks to close this game out. Herbert with it for Fairfield. The left wing gives it up to Willard. Back to Herbert. Herbert searching. Has to get rid of it. Finds Willard. Willard finds Whitaker. Whitaker up top. Ball taken away by Hackelman. The pass attempt to Herbert. Hackelman gets it to Shepard. Here's Horn on the wing. Horn inside. Has a look. Not going to go. Here's Willard of Fairfield. Willard guarded by Wilkinson. Up to Cronin. Back to Willard. Willard to Whitaker. Whitaker open from deep. Takes it. Puts it through. Another outside shot falls for Fairfield. Whitaker. They've really found their stride. Takes here it. In the second
Puts
half.
it through. Them threes are just falling for him.
Coach Garber still animated on that sideline despite the lead Fairfield now has. Here's Wawasee. Hackelman finds Beer. Beer on the right wing. Has it taken away by Herbert. Herbert to Willard. Willard on the wing. Back to Herbert up top. Whitaker tries from deep again. 2 for 2 from the exact same spot on the court. Back-to-back threes. Whitaker tries from deep again. Fairfield really starting to feel it here.
They're just putting up threes and they're just falling.
Hackelman into Beer. Beer at the line. Back to Hackelman for 3. Hackelman can't answer. Rebound to Geiger. Willard brings it back up for Fairfield. Whitaker back to Willard. Willard, right wing, dribbles to the top and passes to Whitaker. Whitaker to Willard. Willard on the wing. Finds Herbert. Herbert in the short corner. Nowhere to go. Has it taken away by Hackelman. And here comes Hackelman. Up ahead to Beer. Nice find. And Beer finishes to give Wawasee a basket in transition. Here comes Hackelman. Up ahead to Beer. Nice find. Fairfield will call a timeout. Finishes. It's going to be a full timeout. We'll be back with more on 93.7 FM The Mix. One more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Quality Engineered Services in Syracuse, manufacturing dash assemblies and wiring harnesses primarily supporting OEM boat manufacturers and other products including marine, bus, automotive, and more since 2017. Quality Engineered Services at 1101 North Indiana Avenue in Syracuse, 574-457-3988, and online at theqes.com.
5:28 remaining here in the game. Fairfield leads 45-20. And Fairfield has really done a nice job here of just taking control of the game, doing what they need to do, doing what they're supposed to do to find themselves on top.
I mean, they put the pressure on Wawasee early. I think that kind of shocked Wawasee as they're coming out of halftime. And both teams are fatigued walking into halftime. I don't know what happened in the locker rooms, but Fairfield just came out, and they came to play. Like, they came to show up. Wawasee, they've come out, and I feel like it's more of a shock to them how quick Fairfield recovered and just took over.
Well, here's Fairfield. Garber brings it up. Over to Whitaker on the right wing. Whitaker guarded by Gibson. Gives it up to Geiger. Whitaker. Back to Geiger in the corner. Garber up top. Garber goes, gets into the paint. Dishes. Geiger couldn't put it in. Garber gets the rebound and draws the foul. She'll have 2 shots. And just Garber, that height really taking over. We've said it already, but it's a mismatch. It's something Wawasee
She is. I mean, she's just applying pressure and just on both sides of the ball. Her height, it's just really a takeover.
And it's hard to box her out because she can just reach right over the top of it.
Yeah.
And she's tall enough that they're not going to call an over the back on it. Garber knocks down the first free throw.
That puts her at 14 points on the night. Make it 15.
Yeah, both shots fall for Garber. Here comes Wilkinson of Wawasee. Wilkinson up top. Over to Hackelman. Hackelman inside. Nice move. Puts it up. No good. Rebound comes to Geiger, and then Geiger is fouled. It's going to be the 5th team foul against the Warriors.
Wawasee here in the second half. I'd say a lot of it is just the little mistakes that have been getting them. It's just those little mistakes, and I feel like those little mistakes will go away. This game would be still really close, but it's just little mistakes that have killed them, and Fairfield has capitalized on it.
Here's Herbert, guarded by Shepard. Herbert up top, finds Garber, around to Whitaker. Whitaker up top now to Dillon. Dillon to the wing, Whitaker. Herbert gets inside, puts it up. Tough look, no good. Garber the rebound. Garber puts it up, can't score, but she'll get fouled.
Again, Wawasee just can't do anything. They can't really do anything to stop her. I mean, she's just got that height, and she's just reaching over people. I mean, right there, she basically had the ball above Horn's head and just threw it up there with ease.
That's going to be Horn's 4th foul. And Beer will check in for Horn. Willard checks in for Whitaker. Garber knocks down the first free throw, and we'll take a second. Two more free throws for Garber. Puts her at 17 points tonight.
She's really heated up in this second half, and that's what's helped Fairfield get this lead.
Wilkinson to Hackelman into Gibson. And that pass is going to be too much into the backcourt. It'll be over and back, and Fairfield will retake possession.
Again, just those little mistakes that Wawasee's making.
Just under 4 minutes to play here. Fairfield now leads 49-20. Willard inside to Garber, guarded by Hackelman. Nice move from Garber. She can't finish, but she'll get fouled once again. And that's really all Wawasee can do right now, down low with Garber.
She's big. She's just using that height. And, I mean, I know if I was on a court and somebody bigger than me is just pounding me on the inside, there's nothing much you can do but foul almost. And that's what she's getting here down low.
She adds another free throw as Fairfield gets up to 50. Second one won't fall. Beer comes down with the rebound. Beer, top of the key. Gives it up to Wilkinson. Here's Gibson in the corner. To Shepard. Out to Hackelman from the right corner, too strong. And here comes Fairfield. Willard to Garber. Inside, nice find to Geiger. Here's Dillon inside. She can't connect. And Beard tried to save it, but she was out of bounds. So here's Fairfield, but 3:14 to play. Garber into Herbert. Geiger into Garber. Dillon for three. On the left side, puts it through. Another outside shot falls for Fairfield, where they have caught fire here in the second half.
That's pretty much what sums up the second half.
Wilkinson got to the right wing, mid-range jumper, and put it through for Wawasee. 2:45 here in the fourth. Here's Garber. Willard, can she get another? No. First miss of the night from outside for Willard, but is tracked down by Geiger. Geiger gets fouled on the take, fouled by Beer. And this is bonus time for Fairfield. 1-and-1 coming for Geiger. Third foul on Beer. Hackelman picked up her fourth earlier. So now Wawasee having to contend with a little bit of foul trouble. Here's Geiger. Can't connect on the front end. Beer the rebound. Here comes Wawasee. Wilkinson on the right wing. Here's Wawasee on the wing. Hackelman up top. Nice find in the corner. Horn to Beer for two. She puts it in. Nice movement there to get Beer open in the corner. She hits the jumper. Horn to Beer for two. Herbert up top for Fairfield. Gets it to Willard on the wing. Right wing for Willard. Swung around, here's Herbert. Whitaker up top. Here's Herbert. Dribbles it out of the wing. Willard. Kicks it back out. Here's Hostetler. Willard. Excuse me, that was Zoe Miller. Now it's Whitaker. Willard on the wing. Penetrates, gets inside, puts up the floater. No good. Rebound falls to Horn. And here comes Wawasee, a minute 12 on the clock. And Coach Gilreath will take a timeout. This is a full timeout. We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Air Good Electric in Ligonier, offering electrical services for any project, including in-home, outdoors, new construction, or remodel. Air Good Electric at 1246 Lincoln Way South in Ligonier, 260-894-3842.
All right, Wawasee and Fairfield here. Fairfield leads 53-24, and although this result has probably been determined for Wawasee, it's still a learning experience. This is the first really good team that they've had to face this year, and they're going to face more of them down the stretch, so they really can learn a lot from this game, and they competed well in the first half.
I just think the second half they came out, got fatigued, and that's what hurt them in the second half.
And it's Couture who puts it up, no good. Rebound loose, and Horn gets in there. He's going to force a jump ball, so it'll stay here on this end with Wawasee. Nice inbound for Wilkinson, but she lost it. And we're going to have another jump. This goes back to Fairfield. 58 seconds on the clock. Willard works with Cronin. Willard gets it across. Back to Cronin. Cronin up top. In the corner. Here's Miller. Back out. Hostetler gives it up to Willard. And Fairfield going to pass it around and hold here. Down to 30 seconds on the clock. Hostetler with it now. Gives it up. Herbert. Down to 15 seconds here. And Hostetler in trouble. And it's Fairfield in the backcourt. And time will expire. Our final score, 53-24. Fairfield comes in and gets a nice win over Wawasee in what was a really closely contested game in the early going, but then Fairfield was able to utilize the second half and pull away. So both these teams coming in and getting a valuable experience. Fairfield able to get a nice win. Wawasee able to play a tough team, compete with them for a half, and then they just kind of struggled that second half again with Garber and some of the other things Fairfield was able to do. But overall, just a good night for Wawasee to be able to get in here and learn. But unfortunately, a loss for the Warriors.
Yeah, and I go back to that, halftime. You could see Wawasee, the wear and tear was starting to get on with the height advantage that Fairfield had, and I think Fairfield knew that going back into that locker room for halftime. Hey, we can use our height against them, and Wawasee started getting fatigued. They were playing really hard in that first half, and I just think the moment got to them. And it was close. It was a close battle in that first half. And a great game played by both teams, honestly, tonight.
All right, well, we'll continue to break down the game here after this. We'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Our Group Real Estate, Keller Williams Thrive at 201 East Bowser Road in Syracuse. offering a real estate team to help you buy or sell a home. With staging and white glove services, manage vacation rentals and sell commercial properties. 574-457-3160 and online at theourgrouprealestate.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Beyond Landscaping in Syracuse, a full-service landscape provider offering design, construction, and maintenance programs to residential, commercial, and surrounding lake properties. Beyond Landscaping in Syracuse, 574-527-7973, and online at beyondlandscaping.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Chubby's Pub and Grub in Syracuse, offering a full menu including daily lunch and dinner specials with a family room. Chubby's Pub and Grub on State Road 13 in Syracuse, 574-457-3855.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is powered by Sox Marina, servicing all the area lakes for over 60 years. Offering Diageo and Trifecta pontoons and Polar Craft fishing boats. All powered by Mercury and Tohatsu outboards and Excel hunting boats powered by Mud Buddy Surface Drive motors. Sox Marina on Webster and Barbie.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Northern Lakes Insurance in Syracuse, offering consumer and business insurance and group health plans. Northern Lakes Insurance, serving Syracuse since 1988. Behind McDonald's on Palm Drive, 574-457-5931, and online at northernlakesinsurance.com.
Well, here we are, Fairfield taking the win tonight over Wawasee, 53-24 the final. And again, it was a good game throughout the first half, kind of like we expected. And then Fairfield just really did some things right, and Wawasee started to struggle.
Yeah, they stepped up to the plate. A play that really stepped up to the plate was Garber. I mean, she was kind of quiet in that first half. Got only like two or 3 points in that first half. Then steps up in the second half and drops, 18 points for the whole game. She just came out, used her height. She really used her height tonight. And I kind of expected that, seeing how tall she was compared to all the other players. I mean, she was taller than most of the players on her team. I mean, she just has that height. And I think that's what really got Fairfield way above Wawasee. And just the threes. The threes were dropping left and right for Fairfield tonight in the second half. Whereas Wawasee, when they tried to heat up, they couldn't really heat up. And that's what happens in a basketball game a lot. I mean, you can't really heat up, and the other team heats up, and then just go on a big run, and that run didn't stop tonight for Fairfield.
Well, you're right. And for Fairfield, other than, I think, 2 threes in the first half from Willard, they weren't scoring that many points from the outside, but then they really got some good looks and really knocked them down in the second half, which allowed them to pull away. For Wawasee, they were able to hit a few in the first half that kept them in the game, but kind of like we said, they just could never find a consistent inside game against that zone, and when the three wasn't falling, they really struggled.
Yeah, and again, just back on that three, and that's just, in the first half, Wawasee had it. And I want to go back to what I was talking about the fatigue, because I didn't really get to describe what I meant by that. Going into the locker room, both teams had that look on their face where like, wow, this is a tight battle. And going in, to that halftime break, they're both walking in the locker room, and you could just see on the faces of them, they both were tired. And then they come out the second half, and I kind of feel like Wawasee was still kind of in that tired phase with that fatigue. And Fairfield, I don't know what happened in the locker room, but they were energized. They were ready to come back out, and I feel like that's what kind of separated them there. And I'm not saying anything bad about Wawasee there. They just came out and they looked fatigued. I mean, they were tired. They played a really tight first half that they haven't played all year. Usually in the first half they have a lead by it, and then they just take over after that. And tonight that didn't happen. They were playing a close battle, and I think that's what got to them tonight.
Well, and for Fairfield, they probably had a little bit more depth. They were able to bring some players off the bench that could really contribute. And for Wawasee, they could, but they didn't bring as many players off the bench. And in a game like this, when you have a press the entire game, it's a fast-paced game. It'll wear you down. And like you said, the fatigue was a big factor and a big difference in this game.
Another thing I'd like to add is, too, with Horn. Horn has been the big player for Wawasee so far this year, and tonight she got in foul trouble early. And that kind of threw them off, I think. They were kind of basing around Horn because when she came back in, that game got really knotted up. So I think tonight Wawasee was, basing their game off Horn, and she got took out early. And I think that's kind of what stumped him there. And I think Coach knows that, and he's look forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Horn, she was able to pull in a lot of rebounds tonight. We don't have an exact number, but I'd be willing to say that she probably got double-digit rebounds.
Yeah.
So, again, Horn's doing a lot for the team, but like you said, that foul trouble in the first half kept Wawasee from being able to keep pace with Fairfield. They were 5 points back, and then in that second half, they couldn't crack the press or the zone, really.
Yeah.
That press from Fairfield, it did good in the first half, but in the second half, it was turning them over left and right.
It was something different. I mean, they would throw the ball down the court, and they were just stumping them left and right. I mean, Garber with her long length, her arms, I mean, she has a reach. Her wingspan is massive, and she's just out here knocking the ball away. The ball will go flying. She's all over it. I mean, Wawasee, they just looked like, hey, we can't get around her, and they were trying to find ways, but it just looked like they couldn't get around her the way they wanted to tonight.
And Wawasee with the victims tonight, but Fairfield's going to do this to a lot of teams this season. Clearly, Fairfield had a really easy time with their first two opponents, and then Wawasee probably was able to compete with Fairfield the best that anyone has this season through that first half, and then the second half they just got wore down, and Fairfield was able to take a big lead and win the game. So, again, we're just seeing a really good Fairfield team here tonight, coming off a regional championship where they returned a lot of players, and they got votes to be ranked in that top 20 poll. So, just a really good Fairfield team, a really good win for Fairfield, a really good experience for Wawasee.
And I think they might get that ranking in the poll after this game. Because, like we said, Wawasee's a very tough team, and the way they played the night, I think they can get that ranking. And I want to say, again, good game by both teams. They both played their hearts out tonight, but Fairfield came up and took that extra step that Wawasee couldn't reach tonight and won this game.
All right, we'll be back with more Lady Warrior basketball on 93.7 FM The Mix, CPG-TV, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Wawasee Warrior basketball is brought to you in part by Wallace Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Syracuse. They can help the residential or commercial customer with in-floor heat systems, high-efficiency tankless water heaters, and well and septic services. Wallace Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Syracuse, 574-457-9313, or online at wallacephc.com.
Hi, this is Vince Beasley. Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Northern Lakes Realty. We are a full-service realty company helping you buy and sell homes, as well as assisting you in any other real estate needs. Northern Lakes Realty has a hometown realty team ready to serve you. We are located across from Pickwick Theater in Uptown Syracuse, 574-457-2880, or online at nlrealtyllc.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by ProTech Marine on Bishop Road, North Wawasee Golf Course. Mercury Marine Certified, offering sales, service, and storage. ProTech Marine, 12734 North Bishop Road in Syracuse. 574-457-2908 and online at protechmarine.net.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Goshen Home Medical, offering CPAPs, respiratory supplies, and a full line of home medical equipment with delivery. Goshen Home Medical at 1501 South Main Street in Goshen, 574-533-0626, or online at goshenhomemedical.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Dynamic Spine and Rehab Center, 106 East Pickwick Drive in Syracuse, offering chiropractic, acupuncture, and rehab services that will get you back into the game. Dynamic Spine and Rehab, east of Dairy Queen in Syracuse, 574-457-7472, and online at dynamicspinesyracuse.com.
Wawasee Warrior Basketball is brought to you in part by Scott Gingrich with Gingrich Group Realty in Milford, offering a real estate group that can help you buy, sell, or build your home in Kosciuszko and surrounding counties with full-service property management services. Scott Gingrich with Gingrich Group Realty, located at 215 South Main Street in Milford, 574-306-7377, and online at thegingrichgroup.com.
Here we are. We got Coach Gilreath with us for an interview after tonight's game. And Coach, tonight you came in, you competed really well through the first half, and then Fairfield just kind of really turned up the heat and was able to take home the victory tonight. But Coach, you looked really well in the first half, and overall I think it was a good experience for you. So my first question is, what did you do in that first half that allowed you to stay close to Fairfield?
Well, for one, we focused on, what we've talked about preparing for them. We got out to shooters. We wanted to force somebody other than, Garber, Willard, and Herbert to beat us, and I felt like we did a really good job getting out there on them. Third quarter, we talked about, getting out to shooters, and, we just kind of lost focus there and stopped doing the things that we did in the first half that allowed them to get open looks, and good teams make you pay, and they made us pay. So,
Coach, again, that second half, I want to mention with Garber on defense, she was just all over tonight, and I want to ask you on her defensive side, how was it a struggle to get around her?
Yeah, well, like I said in our pregame, her length is a big problem for a lot of teams, but especially us. We don't have a whole lot of size and length ourselves, but part of that is, just kind of understanding, angles and things like that, how to attack gaps and not allow her to use her length. But she does a really good job staying, far enough away where she can use her size and her length. Even if she doesn't get the steal or deflection, at least allowing her teammates to get over in the passing lanes by just making every pass difficult for opponents. She's a really good player. So,
well, Coach, in that first half, in that first quarter, Olivia Horn picked up her second foul and you take her out, and then she was able to come back later in the second quarter. How did her absence affect you in the first half?
Well, it definitely hurts us rebounding the ball. Right now she's averaging 12.5 rebounds per game for a reason, because she's just an absolute workhorse for us. But, we talk all year, we don't have a whole lot of depth, so we can't afford people in foul trouble. And not that her fouls were bad fouls, she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But, it just kills us not having, our main players in there. And I said she's aggressive on offense and defense, but especially rebounding the ball is huge, not having her on the floor.
Coach, looking forward to these next upcoming games. What's your plan on, what happened tonight obviously is not what you want for the rest of the season. So what's your plan on not letting that happen again?
Well, we got to go and prepare for Westview on Friday. Obviously, we saw tonight we need to get better against zone offense, or better at our zone offense against the zone defense. Most teams aren't going to have that length at the top of the zone that they had, but we still got to understand what we're doing a little bit better and understand how to attack when we're not hitting shots. First half, things go well when you hit shots like we did the first half, but we got to understand, what are we doing next if our shots aren't falling like they weren't in the third quarter. So.
All right, well, Coach, we thank you for joining us tonight. And again, a tough loss, but a really good team you were playing against, and really good performance throughout the game. So good luck to you Friday night against Westview.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, well, tonight, again, final score 53-24. Fairfield defeats Wawasee. And just a great game, really a great atmosphere, great first half, just a tough second half for Wawasee that allowed Fairfield to come in and get the win.
I'd like to mention here before we do sign off here, this will be our final girls game. We're going to do the boys games for their season for the whole season, but this is the final girls game that we will be calling. The girls games will be here on CPG-TV for the remainder of the season. They won't be on radio anymore. I just want to let everyone know that. So make sure if you want to watch the games, if you're listening on radio, that it's going to be on youtube.com/CPG-TV.
All right, before we go, we do want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors. And so tonight, sponsoring the broadcast, the Gingrich Group, Dynamic Spine and Rehab Center, Goshen Home Medical, Protect Marine, Northern Lakes Realty, Wallace Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Northern Lakes Insurance, Sox Marina, Chubby's Pub and Grub, Beyond Landscaping, Our Group Real Estate, Keller Williams Thrive, Airgood Electric, Blue Barn Berry Farm and Event Venue, Quality Engineered Services, and Stealth Shield Solutions, LLC. We certainly thank you for joining us tonight. for tonight's game in the Hardwood Teepee. Like Zach said, this will be our last girls game. We'll see you for our next broadcast for the home opener for the boys as they take on Fairfield in the boys game. That'll be November 22nd on a Tuesday. The girls will be back in action Friday night against Westview, so definitely check in for that. And again, we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you Tuesday.